Is Ripple's XRP a secret military operation in partnership with NASA, the NSA, the IMF, Google, and other major central banks? Is this all part of their plan? Well, in this video, what we're going to talk about is what Ripple Labs has been quietly doing behind the scenes, hiring members at these prominent organizations. The XRP to the US dollar price chart, and with us encroaching in on this 7-year grueling consolidation period in the symmetrical triangle, what's happening right now on the weekly stochastic RSI, and what has happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in the past, and what to expect within the next 14 to 56 days after a confirmed bullish cross beneath 10 for the D line and the K line. We also have to talk about the XRP to the Bitcoin price chart and what to expect as well too. Going into elections tomorrow, if we look back at what happened in 2020, we're going to compare the total crypto market cap and what happened for elections and why whoever gets elected long term does not matter at all for the future of the crypto market. With a lot of people out there worried whether it's going to be Kamala or Donald Trump, we have some data to back up the reason why this does not matter based on 2016's election, 2020's election, and now 2024's election. We also have to break down Bitcoin's market cap dominance and what to expect for XRP compared to the Bitcoin price chart for Bitcoin and what has happened every single time in the past, 100% of the time. This is all data. This is not my opinion here. Also, what Ripple XRP's founder now tells you and what people like, Crypto Hulk, the bull runners, other prominent people in the crypto community have been telling you guys for years, and a lot of comments out there about why XRP's price is not moving. We're going to be explaining that by the end of this video and how XRP's price is determined for the new people to this space and those that still have trouble understanding. So that way you guys aren't sitting there missing out on this bull run, because we have caught plenty of projects that have done 2x, 5x, 10x, yes, even 50x and 100x so far, and we are just getting started. So comment 777 if you're feeling blessed, if you're feeling bullish, let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So a quick update for the businesses that have submitted their application. We have about 185 businesses that have gone through to get money back from what was stolen from them from Visa and Mastercard between 2004 and 2019. So far, we've gotten about $1.9 million back since about a week ago for these businesses, with over $118 million in credit card volume processing. For those of you that think that this isn't real, listen to this.
Hey bull runners, this is super time sensitive, especially if you're looking to stack more crypto before the bull run is over. Did you know that Visa and Mastercard lost a $5.5 billion class action lawsuit for imposing unfair fees on merchants and business owners? So if you own a business, or if you know any business owners that process payments with Visa or Mastercard between 2004 and 2019, that's 15 years, you could actually be owed a refund of 1 to 1.5% of your total revenue from that period. That's a lot of money. For example, this business that generated 1.6 million in credit card revenue during those years is getting back $28,000. This business that generated over 7 million is getting back $93,000. And this business that generated over $20 million during those years is getting back over $320,000. That's money they didn't even know was on the table. And all they did was fill out a form through the link below this video. It literally takes less than a minute to see if you qualify, but you don't want to wait too long because the deadline to file is February 4th, 2025. So the sooner that you fill out the form below, the sooner that you can reclaim what's rightfully yours. Plus, if you don't have a business, you can actually earn 3% by referring businesses that do qualify by creating your affiliate account through the link below. So this is a no-brainer way to get money back in your pocket to use for your business, or if you want to use it for crypto or other assets to invest in, you can do that. So click the link below. Let's get you paid.
Now, the reason why I share that with you guys first is because if you don't have capital on the front end to invest in the crypto market, then you're just going to watch this market absolutely explode if we go into a normal bull run like we have every single time in the past. Post-election, and you're just going to wonder, how can you make more money? So I want to give you guys opportunities to be able to, stack on a few extra. It depends on how many businesses you know, right? Like, we're going to be stacking on a few extra, like 10 million, maybe 20 million, $30 million. We'll see what that does, because our goal is to help thousands of businesses. And with the influence that we have the ability to do that. Now, for you, you might know maybe 5 businesses, 10 businesses, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50. It really depends on your work ethic. You might be lazy. You might be the type of person that just sits there and watches Netflix all day. I don't know. know. I used to be that person until I realized that I wanted to retire before, I hit 30 years old. And I saw all these people out there that were like 18, 19, 20 years old when I was a lot younger. I'm like, how are these kids making all this money on social media? I was like, I could do that and figure that out. It's not rocket science. It's like learning anything new. Like if you're going to learn the guitar, you just put a lot of time into it. So that's what you guys are doing right now in the crypto market. So when you have cash flow on the front end from, whether they're business opportunities, whether it's real estate, whether you're doing door-to-door sales, you're selling solar, whatever it is that you guys are doing, that gives you more capital to put back into the market. Thankfully, what we're sharing with you is free. It doesn't cost you anything because Visa and Mastercard, the bigwigs, are the ones that have to pay the $5.5 billion for stealing money from businesses for over 15 years. And so the fact that they lost this lawsuit, is awesome because that can put more money back in your pocket. But either way, let's dive into the charts and let's talk about what's taking place on the Bitcoin price chart, because with it sitting at $67,000, rallied all the way up to the all-time high, 73K. It's pulling back right now. People think, oh, the rally's over, it's done. We're still in this uptrend right here. So as long as we continuously make higher highs and higher lows, and we hold, the key support at $59,000, we will remain in an uptrend. And an uptrend is just a series of higher highs, higher lows. It's really simple, really easy to understand. But the challenge here for people that are holding something like XRP is patience, number one, and knowing how to read charts to understand what's most likely to happen next. Now, looking at like technical analysis, it's not a telltale sign, but what we look for here is confluence on the chart to see where we are based on certain key indicators on macro timeframes like the weekly or the monthly. And then that gives us a zoomed out perspective on the most likely scenario to happen next. For example, right now, we look at where the K line is and the D line on the stochastic RSI. The K line's at 1.72, the D line's at 3.76. We're well below 20. So bears are in control right now. And that's why we've been pulling back since the end of September from 68 cents down to 50 cents right here. Now, when we look back to when we were at these levels before, drastically in oversold conditions was on the 1st of July, on the 5th of February, on the 11th of September, on the 2nd of January, on the 23rd of May. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times that we were down within these levels, when the K line crossed back above the D line, this is what's called a bullish cross. Now, bullish cross only confirms when both the K line and the D line pass back above 20. Okay, so what we're looking at right here, I've circled these on the chart when we saw a bullish cross, and then I put a little square here when the bullish cross confirmed. And it's roughly 14 to 56 days on average from the bullish cross to the confirmation once we confirmed it, right? So over the next 14 days to 56 days, I think we're going to see a crunch for XRP and a massive XRP price move. Now, on average, what that move looks like, again, no guarantees, not financial advice, of course. I'm not going to tell you exactly where XRP is going to go because I have no clue. Nobody does. Not a single human being on earth can predict the future here. Those psychic businesses are all scams. So if they were really psychic, they'd probably be billionaires because they could bet on the Super Bowl, right? So I'm not a psychic, but I look at data. That's what I look at, right? So when we look here, it's 50% to 200% each time. And it varies depending on how big this move will be. So let's just look at, on average, a 50% move for XRP, what that would look like. That would look like a 77, 78 cents. Now that would bring it back to these resistance levels that it got rejected from back here on the 6th of November. Also here in the beginning, middle of July, 10th of July. And then also up here, that it got rejected from the end of July of 2024 and then 2023. So that'd be a 50% move. Now, 200% move for XRP from where we are at these levels right here, this would be about $1.50. So anywhere between 70 cents to $1.50 could be the next move. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen right away, right? Because we still have to go through, the Fed's next meeting for their FOMC meeting when they decide what they're going to do with the effective federal funds rate. And then we have to see what employment data is going to come in at. But either way, I think this is shaping up to be a really bullish next month to 3 months for XRP. And the reason why, well, let's say, for example, if Donald Trump gets elected, he's leading in the polls right now. If he gets elected, he promised everyone that he was going to fire Gary Gensler, the head of the Securities and Exchange Commission, on day one. Now, you guys know that Gary Gensler is the guy leading the SEC in the lawsuit versus Ripple that's been going on for 4 years that is suppressing the price of this cryptocurrency. Now, if Gary Gensler is gone, what do you think that means for the future of Ripple and XRP and the rest of the crypto industry? It's extremely extremely bullish. And so this is a very, very, very calculated move here in terms of what I'm planning over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years for the future of, my portfolio. This is not a short-term play here, even though in the short term, XRP is looking very good, because if we confirm this bullish cross, right, we don't stay down below 20 forever. Eventually it will confirm. It has every single time. Now, we don't know how long it's going to take, right? It could be within 2 weeks. Maybe it confirms above it, comes back down below, and then it takes off in the quarter 4 of 2025. We don't know, right? We can see in this macro symmetrical triangle that it could consolidate longer. The move to the upside when it confirms, it could be a little bit smaller than people expect. And so people are let down, and then the impatient people, they sell out, they get frustrated because it's underperforming other projects. But the charts tell us exactly what we feel is going to happen next, not based on like feelings, right? But my feelings are based on logic. So I look at the logic, then I base my moves and then my emotions around that, and I keep them in check as well too, in case things don't go the way that I feel they would go, right? So when we look at where we are right now for XRP, the Bitcoin price chart, XRP has been underperforming Bitcoin. And so I'm going to get into Bitcoin's dominance and explain what I see happening in the most likely scenario to happen next based on Bitcoin's dominance, because XRP generally underperforms Bitcoin in the start of the bull run because Bitcoin gets the majority of the liquidity flowing in first, and this bull run is no different. Institutions get the ETFs approved with Bitcoin. BlackRock starts dumping in a bunch of money. They've been buying millions and millions and millions of dollars every single day. I've had conversations, where BlackRock has been doing OTC deals to potentially broker deals for billions of dollars for BlackRock and stuff. So because of the brand that I have, I'm able to, get into certain conversations in certain rooms with certain people that I can't fully disclose all of it, but I can give you guys hints as to what's about to happen next and the reason why I'm extremely bullish. And so when we look back here all the way to 2014, when XRP bottomed out compared to Bitcoin, we can see on the weekly stochastic RSI as well too, we were below 20. Eventually, when we confirmed that, XRP drastically outperformed Bitcoin when we confirmed a bullish cross back above 20. Same thing right here. Now, it didn't happen right away because, as you can see, there's fake outs that take place, right? On December of 2016, when a bullish cross took place, it actually confirmed it by January, but you can see during this period, it turned right back around and came back down for another low. Once it hit that low, and then we confirmed another bullish cross and then passed above 20, XRP's price absolutely exploded. And that's when we saw right here is what I'm looking at, we saw a 60,000%. So if you would have held XRP, that's like a 600x. If you would have put $100 in XRP at that point, multiply that by 600. That's what your portfolio would have been worth at the top of that bull run. And so this is really important information, because if you have more money in the markets, this is how you turn thousands into hundreds of thousands, or hundreds of thousands into tens of millions of dollars, okay? And I'm not saying that you're gonna make that much, because we don't know where it's gonna go to, but this is what I'm looking at right here. These levels of support compared to Bitcoin, back from the 28th of December of 2020, we saw something similar happen. We saw the stochastic RSI and the weekly come all the way down here below 20. We saw a bullish cross. It confirmed the bullish cross by passing above 20, and it did the exact same thing that it did the past bull run. It was a little bit of a fake out. We came back down one more time. So we saw this rally up, another bounce off of support, and then XRP's price popped, and it rallied over 16x for that bull run. So that would have been like turning $1,000 into $16,000 if you bought the low, the COVID low, right? So that black swan event that took place, if you would have bought that and just held until the top. Now, where we are, we see that the K line is at 4, the D line is at 1.36. So on the macro, meaning if you plan on holding for months, this is incredible. Even if we see a short-term temporary bounce for XRP and we see one final shakeout event to even potentially backtest the low down here from the 27th of February 2017, same with the 7th of July of 2014, even if that happens and the stochastic RSI does something like this, eventually I think this will reverse to the upside based on data that it has happened every single time, 100% of the time in the past. We just don't know time frame. It's not a matter of if, right? Let me know if you guys think I'm wrong here based on what you see on the charts, because it's not a matter of if, because 100% of the time it's happened every single bull run. 100%, right? It's just a matter of when. Like, I don't know when this is going to take place. Like I just said at the beginning of this video, it might happen in 14 days, 56 days. It might take until quarter 3, quarter 4 of 2025 to make the move. We don't know, right? But I believe I'm going to be alive. I believe you're going to be alive longer than 2025. So why would you care about what happens over the next 6 to 12 months if you're planning for a long term, like if you're young and you're going to be retiring over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, or let's say you're 60 or 70 years old, you still got an extra 5 years, 10 years left in you. You know, God forbid, hope you live a long, prosperous life here. But people get too impatient on the day to day because of social media, right? Instagram, you know, TikTok, it rots their brains. They just scroll through it nonstop, and you know, it's getting your dopamine fired up. And then when you look at something like investing, and it takes sometimes months, you're so used to getting what you want really quick because you can scroll, you can swipe, and social media has engineered their platforms. They go in boardroom meetings with these executives. You know, I used to be the CMO of a domain company, a domain hosting company, so I understand marketing, because for domains, right, people use those for their websites, they use those for their blogs. So these media companies, they get together in boardroom meetings, and they bring in psychology experts to figure out how can they addict the masses to their apps. And so then they come out with what you see on these social media platforms, right? And so what we're gonna look into here, so I don't get on too big of a tangent here, because I just wanna instill patience in you guys, and also a logic as well too, so you can understand what to look for, because I do think XRP is going to shock a lot of people this bull run, and the SEC didn't sue them for no reason. Why would the SEC not go after any other cryptocurrency? Why did they hyper focus and hyper target on XRP? Is it because XRP is a security? No, the judge made the declaration on that XRP is not a security. That can't be changed. This appeal is just for more money, right? So let's just use the facts here in this video. Let's get our emotions out of it, because with the election coming up, you know, the fact of the matter is whoever gets elected is going to be whoever gets elected. After that, what has happened? Well, the last bull run, Joe Biden won, right? Not the last bull run, sorry. The last election, Joe Biden won. And, well, you know, was he bullish on the crypto market? Not really. What happened to the crypto market after that? Well, you can see the 3rd of November 2020, the market's bottomed out at $133 billion, literally the day of the election, and then it rocketed off of that. So the uncertainty is what the markets don't like. It's not Kamala or Trump, it's the uncertainty of who's gonna get elected, you know, that people don't know, so that's why they're holding back. And then once there's certainty, whether it's one of the two, even if Kamala gets elected, like Gary Gensler doesn't get fired, well then the show goes on anyways, and then we watch global liquidity. We watch the money supply, the Federal Reserve, the Treasury, what central banks are doing. And we've been tracking this over the past few years and showing you guys how China is buying more gold than ever before, and Russia as well too. The BRICS nations, they're working on their payment platform. They're getting away from the US dollar, and so crypto is an inverse hedge against the DXY in the US dollar, and also uncertainty in terms of what's going to happen with the spending power, right? Because of inflation. And so when we look at crypto has now been certified as one of those asset classes based on institutional adoption through BlackRock, Fidelity, Van Eck, ARK, 21 Shares, you know, etc. Then we got payment giants, like I just showed you guys in a previous video, Visa, Mastercard. Even though they stole a bunch of money from these businesses through, you know, unfair fees, they're diving into the crypto market. Real world assets, tokenization on chain, all of this stuff is happening. Whether you like it or not, whether you like it a lot or like it or not, you can profit from it if you position yourself properly. So if we see something similar to what happened last bull run, you can see that we saw this sell-off prior to election from September 2020, and we just consolidated. Then we started working our way up from the low in September 2020, forming higher highs, higher lows, until we deviated from this ascending support. We saw this bullish deviation where we bounce off of the support 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then we deviate from it, and we form this parabolic run that breaches past a resistance to form a new level of consolidation on top of the previous zone, where we come up here, then we consolidate to back test the previous resistance as support, as you can see where I'm drawing on the left-hand side of the screen, one final bounce off of it, and then boom, we break out to a new level. Guess what? We came back down, we back tested it again. So this is what I would expect to happen for the crypto market. Now, where is the previous resistance, the high to back test? Well, it's the 12th of March at 1.2, $1.3 trillion. So I would expect post-election, even if we come down a little bit further, depending on if, let's say Kamala Harris gets elected, I would expect a little short-term temporary sell-off just because her cabinet and her team's not bullish on the crypto market because of various reasons that we're not going to get into. But I would expect a sell-off. Then I would just expect the market to figure itself out, start working its way out of here, because then there's at least clarity on who's elected and people are going to be more bullish on global liquidity increasing. And then the markets do something like this. We see a breakout. Potentially we go up to 1.8, 2 trillion, maybe $2.5 trillion. And then we see this cool off, boom. Then we come back down, potentially back test, and we just do something like this. And then we work our way through here through summer of 2025. All the newbies, the retail, the dumb money that's not buying in right now, the smart money institutions have been pouring millions of dollars a day, so they're just accumulating right now. Retail that isn't paying attention, they're bored because nothing's happening. Then what's going to happen here is they're going to come back into the market right here. Everyone's going to buy the top, and then they're going to have to wait another few months of consolidation. Then they're going to get bored. They're going to sell out these dips. They're going to sell out before the final blow off top. Then once the blow off top comes, then everyone's going to be piling in. Google Trends is going to be off the hook. Coinbase app is most likely going to be #1 in the app store. And then everyone that's late is going to get dumped on, and the bear market's going to come again. And it's probably be a disgusting bear market like the last one. Maybe it'll be a 1929 style crash. I don't know. We'll see. But I think and I timed the last bull run, not perfectly, but I mean, I bought right before that rally right after COVID, and then I sold Bitcoin and altcoins like right up here on that complacency bounce before we dropped. And I bought back in at $15,500. So like right back here, and then I've been buying right here. I was buying right here, and now I'm accumulating even more right now, hence why I'm selling my condo and I'm going all in on the crypto market because of what I'm seeing, what I'm telling you guys. Now, to take profits, I'll let you guys know when I'm taking profits, depending on how large this next move is. But the majority of the profits that I'm going to be taking are going to be at the end of Bitcoin's 4-year market cycle, somewhere around September of 2025, maybe earlier if this market moves bigger and moves faster. But either way, this is what I'm looking for, because the last bull run, this is what we saw. Now, it's not going to be identical to the last bull run. I understand that. I know you understand that. Every single bull run is different. The last bull run was a double top. The one before then, it was just a parabolic blow off top, and then followed by this massive complacency bounce, and then, losing 80% of the value. So keeping all your money in crypto during a bear market is the stupidest thing you possibly do. I still hold a lot of gold. I hold a lot of silver. Real estate for me, I just don't see it over the next year appreciate as much as crypto. And so while the Fed is lowering rates, I see crypto moving more. And then once the rates find a low on what the Fed is going to adjust them to, then I'll probably buy back in as crypto is crashing in some properties and stuff, and do that. So you don't need to be invested in real estate to make a lot of money. How many properties does Elon Musk have? 0. How many properties does Warren Buffett has? 1, and that's just his home that he sleeps in, right? He puts his money into his business. He puts his money to investments that are more liquid, right? Real estate takes a while to liquidate. So if you like real estate, that's awesome. I'm not talking you out of that. Just for me personally, I'm just more bullish on the crypto market. Being a bull taught me that history always repeats. This is what Scottie Pippen said. Bitcoin drops before election, but look what happens next. Each time, right? 6.3% drop so far this election. 2020, there was a 6.1% drop. 2016, there was a 10.2% drop. And then over the next few months, we ripped to the upside. Now, what's also holding XRP back in the rest of the altcoin market is Bitcoin's dominance. Bitcoin moves first. And when Bitcoin moves, liquidity flows out of a lot of low cap scam coins that aren't going to be around for years, and it flows into Bitcoin that has proven the test of time. And also, it has to move first just because of the institutional adoption of the ETFs for the dominance to raise. And when the dominance raises up, it'll peak out. So when we look at what's happened, we just trace this up compared to, let's say, XRP to Bitcoin's price chart and see this inverse correlation here based on Bitcoin's dominance to show you guys what's most likely to happen when Bitcoin's dominance tops out. We don't know exactly when, but most likely it will, just because it has 100% of the time in the past. Sure, this time could be different, but this is probability game we're playing here, right? So if there's 100% probability based on the past, the likelihood is just really high. Sure, this time could be the only time that it doesn't top out and Bitcoin's dominance drops, but if it does, based on probabilities, what happens to XRP? Well, right here in 2017, Bitcoin's dominance topped out at 96%. There was virtually no altcoins. Then we saw, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, Chainlink, and all these other altcoins pop up. This is when I was getting in the market, when Bitcoin's dominance was all the way up here. This is when I was investing in crypto. I was buying XRP. I was buying these projects early before everyone was talking about them, because I was looking at this type of stuff. I was watching videos like what you guys are watching right now, but I wasn't making videos at the time. I was just quietly behind the scenes accumulating. And when Bitcoin's dominance dropped from 96%, we'll look at what happened to the XRP, the Bitcoin price chart, all the way down here. It rallied and performed to 60,000%, like I just showed you guys. So Bitcoin's dominance chopped all the way down, right? It bottomed out right here at 61, saw a short-term temporary relief rally to 78, all while XRP to Bitcoin, went up here and then dropped down for a sell-off while Bitcoin was somewhat recovering right here. When XRP was selling off, more money was flowing, not necessarily back into Bitcoin, because you guys can see Bitcoin kept dropping while XRP's to Bitcoin was dropping. Money was now flowing out of XRP into other altcoins. Now they were buying Chainlink, and now they were buying IOTA, and they're buying Cardano. And that's when the altcoin market, the whole tide started to go because of XRP's big move. XRP was the leader of that bull run. XRP outperformed Ethereum, and a lot of people have forgot about this. XRP actually used to be the #2 cryptocurrency in existence behind Bitcoin until this lawsuit hit from the SEC, and it didn't miss the last bull run. It did 16x, right? Like 100 grand would have been worth 1.6 million, and it was still suppressed by going through the SEC lawsuit. That tells me everything I need to know. It stayed in the top 10 while going through that lawsuit with no clarity. That tells me everything I need to know. Also, this tells me everything I need to know. When Bitcoin's dominance finally peaked out right here on that relief rally at 70% and dropped all the way down here to 35%, what cryptocurrency ripped the hardest? It was XRP. XRP drastically outperformed Bitcoin during that bottom. Then once Bitcoin's dominance bottomed out back here in January of 2018 at like 35%, XRP topped out. So it's inversely correlated to Bitcoin, it looks like, Bitcoin's dominance. So when Bitcoin's dominance bottoms out, XRP is going to most likely outperform Bitcoin. And we can see on these vertical yellow dashed lines that I've drawn for you guys, when Bitcoin's dominance peaked out here in December of 2020 at about 72% and turned around, that's when XRP made the run and did a 16x after that. And so right now, the dominance is just climbing, it's building. You can see this uptrend, a series of higher highs in terms of Bitcoin's dominance, a series of higher lows, and you can see XRP to Bitcoin has been in a downtrend, a series of lower highs and lower lows. Now, just like what I showed you on the XRP to Bitcoin price chart, we are at this key level of support right here. Now, if this support doesn't hold and we come all the way back down here, and let's say Bitcoin's dominance goes even higher and it has this parabolic blow off top to retest these previous levels of 70 to 72%, if it comes all the way up here, then XRP could come all the way down here compared to Bitcoin. Now, that doesn't mean that XRP is going to sell off drastically. It just means that Bitcoin's dominance is outperforming it. So XRP could technically stay at like 45 to 50 cents. It could just go sideways while Bitcoin goes up, just because more liquidity comes into the market, institutions pour even more into Bitcoin, so the tide for Bitcoin is just rising quicker than the tide for XRP. Then when Bitcoin's dominance tops out and that money starts to flow out of Bitcoin's market cap, then where will that flow? In my opinion, just based on data, that'll flow into XRP, and we see the XRP bounce, and we see this, crunch in terms of the amount of money that flows in, crunches the price into this uptrend, right? It breaks this descending resistance and it holds it as support, and then we see XRP outperform Bitcoin and ultimately the rest of the market. For example, if I type in XRP market cap dominance and we look at XRP compared to the entire cryptocurrency market. You guys can see that XRP's market cap dominance is at 1.3%. During that bull run of 2017, it got up to 30% of the market. That's pretty insane. Now, does that mean it's going to get that high this bull run? No, not necessarily, right? But I do believe there will be a breakout past this descending resistance. This is all the psychology of a market cycle right here. And we've seen a bounce off of this key support multiple times. So I talked about this in a previous video where what I was expecting right around these levels was a bounce for XRP, a potential retest of this support, and then not a rejection, but a reversal off of it back down to this descending resistance. Now that's roughly at 1.72%. Whether we break this for XRP's market cap dominance or not, and when that would happen, we'll see, whether it's this bull run or next bull run. I do think this bull run, XRP, is going to be one of the best plays, and because of what I'm going to share with you in a little bit. But listen to what Ripple's co-founder now tells you.
It's an established currency. It was actually declared formally a currency by the Treasury Department, FinCEN, in a settlement back in 2015, which to us, that was crystal clear. This is a currency. And as a currency, it's exempt from regulation under the SEC. That should be as a commodity, a currency, and under the CFTC. So certainly to me, that seemed crystal clear. But, I think, again, these are new things, even though they've been around for a while. And I know the regulators are well-intentioned. But it's kind of this fight on, hey, who owns the regulation of this industry? And that's fine. But, what they should be doing is making clear new rules. These are new technologies. And I think a bit of the problem is, trying to fit something like blockchain and interoperability protocols and cryptocurrencies, trying to fit that into rules that were established, 7 decades ago. I think that's a recipe for things going badly for the United States. So I think the hope is that we get really clear rules that protect consumers and innovators.
Also, Ito Farina just posted this saying Ripple employed people from the New York Fed, Goldman Sachs, Apple, Google, NASA, the National Security Agency, Twitter, and early Bitcoin developers. David Schwartz filed a patent similar to Bitcoin back in 1988 and was the contractor for the National Security Agency. David Schwartz is on a NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, where he can't talk about what he worked on for NASA, and he's made that very apparent. He's posted that publicly. So he's saying that XRP is a military operation and it is the final product. Now, obviously, you can't just say something like this with backing it up, so we need to have sources, or this is just a conspiracy theory. And so let's bring up this post right here and let's see what he's saying, because Ryan Fugger affirmed that he has chosen the name Ripple based on a Grateful Dead song. Now, we all know that Jerome Powell, for those of you guys that watch the channel, has come out and said this.
I've been a Grateful Dead fan for 50 years, so.
Well, I've found one universal truth, that I like people who like the Grateful Dead.
So they all love the Grateful Dead. So is this a, brotherhood, secret society code word for something that they're inside on? I don't know. Again, that's a conspiracy theory. So we need to dig a little bit deeper. So this thread unleashes the real origins of Ripple Labs, Inc. Ripple Communications has been incorporated in the 21st of March of 1991. Very interesting how that was before Bitcoin ever even came out. The trademark for RC belongs to Ripple Labs, Inc. and previously OpenCoin, Inc. Now, Ryan Fugger is the registrant for RipplePay.com, which happens to be a Ripple Communications company. Now, INSA was reorganized in 2005 by a group of prominent contracting executives to serve as a bridge between the industry and the leaders of national intelligence. In the same year, the INSA was reorganized. RippleCom, RipplePay, and OpenCoin.com were born under the same IP address. And Karen Newsel worked for Ripple Communications, and you can meet her again at the INSA.org. You can see in this image right here on the screen. So Ripple, the point that we're bringing up here is Ripple owns 13 federally registered trademarks, including Ripple Labs, Ripple Trade, Ripple Communications, which by now you should understand is connected to U.S. intelligence organizations with Ryan Fugger involved. And Susan Heckenberg is the vice president of marketing for Ripple Communications, and she was the president in the INSA Foundation. Now, this right here is also another powerful picture in terms of XRP Ripple partners and Bitcoin partners. It just shows El Salvador here for Bitcoin. Obviously, there's like BlackRock and other companies that are buying up Bitcoin, but XRP and Ripple, you got like all the biggest companies, the biggest banks in the world. And if you just like screenshot this or pause this video and read some of these, we've shown you guys in the past how big these companies are and what this means. But the retail investors, they just look at the price. It's like looking at the price of silver, which is suppressed. The real value of silver is much higher than what the price shows. Now, does that mean that you should only hold XRP because of partnerships? No, you got to have a diversified portfolio. So we'll get into the best strategy for that. But let's talk about what Crypto Tank posted here, because I thought this was a brilliant way of breaking down the reason why XRP's price is not moving. So XRP's price is determined by dividing the value to volume on the ledger divided by the circulating supply. Now, determining the circulating supply is not that simple. However, if you Google XRP circulating supply, it will say about 56 billion of the 100 billion out there in the max supply. Well, this number is misleading, and just because 56 billion is in circulation, it does not mean that the whole 56 billion is on the ledger for use and is trading on the open market. Most of that is held in private wallets like Ledger, like Trezor, cold storage wallets by whales or in exchanges for that matter, that they don't plan on selling or trading anytime soon. What matters for a price is how much of that supply is active on the ledger. So he says he would guess about 20% of that is active, just give or take, right, on the ledger on a daily basis. So let's say, for the sake of this example, 10 billion XRP is active on the ledger out of the 100 billion max supply. Now we have to account for how much is in the automated market maker pools to be transacted. So let's assume all 10 billion is in the automated market maker pools paired to XRP or Ripple stablecoin, that's coming out and getting regulation here soon as well too, that we haven't even discussed in this video, to rival Tether's dominance. The banks and financial institutions will have their own tokens or CBDCs, central banking digital currencies. They're not just going to be this like one currency that they all use. There's going to be a bridge currency that they all use to transact with their prominent currencies that they have, right? Because every country has leaders, that have egos, and they need to have their own currency. They're just not going to use another country's currency. They need to have their own power, right? So they will pair those with Ripple stablecoin and transact using the liquidity in the automated market maker pools. The XRP ledger has an algorithm that searches the best path and source of liquidity to complete a settlement. The algorithm uses XRP as the default source of settlement and will only use something else if it's better than XRP, which most likely won't be the case because there really isn't anything. That's why these partnerships and these central banks have all these documents and these NDAs where they can't talk about their plans, so the XRP's price doesn't skyrocket too soon. Now, to give an example of how much value to volume could be on the ledger, Swift, which is the prominent, banking partnership across the globe to send wire transfers, their software does about 5 trillion in settlement daily. JP Morgan of Chase Bank does about 10 trillion. Bank of America does 7 to 8. SBI Japan does 2 trillion. That's about $25 trillion daily in settlement with just 4 banks, 4 institutions. There's thousands out there. Ripple has 1,700 plus non-disclosure agreements that are verified that we only know that's a tiny fraction. There may be more than that, and we don't know who they are, and this has been confirmed out there by prominent executives, and let's just take 10% of these 4, and let's use that on Ledger. So take 2.5 trillion, very conservative, on the ledger in automated market maker pools. If we talk about the foreign exchange market, that's like 10 to 15 trillion per day, right? So let's just take 2.5 trillion of just one of these markets. These pools have to be about double the 2.5 trillion value to avoid failed transactions and friction within the pools. Banks cannot have failed transactions, so the real value to volume on the ledger needs to be about 5 trillion. Now, to determine the price XRP needs to be to avoid friction and have deep enough liquidity pools to settle without failure between different currencies or CBDCs, you take the 5 trillion, you divide it by the 10 billion of XRP in the pools. XRP's price would need to be $500 to facilitate settlement daily. This is a very basic example. This isn't even complicated here, guys. And not to even to mention the minds behind the ledger and all of that and how smart they need to be to even create this. But this is a basic example of what will happen when these banks start using XRP daily for settlement. There are other factors like tokenized assets, tokenized debt, tokenized real estate, etc., that will add all value to the ledger in the future. So if it just captures a fraction of each of these markets, that's trillions and trillions of dollars. For anyone saying XRP will never be a high price, you really do not understand what XRP is going to be used for or how it works at all. You're just looking at the sideways consolidation, trading at 50 cents, and you're basing your logic off of such a simple-minded thing of price hasn't done anything, therefore it's crap, right? That you got to think much deeper than that. There's much more nuanced points to not only how XRP works, but how the ledger works. Retail does not matter. That's not their market. The crypto market is not Ripple's target market. That's why on chain there hasn't been much happening. Ripple's target market is the banks, the big money. So charts are nice to look at, but it doesn't really matter either. You can't chart how much liquidity or depth of the automated market maker there is. That's why you couldn't grasp or fathom that 60,000% growth back in 2017. It can happen really fast, and we don't know how big it will be. I'm not trying to get your guys' hopes up here because, it might happen by 2030. This bull run, XRP might do like maybe a 5x, maybe a 10x. We don't know how big it'll be. I think the real adoption in the real, money is gonna come by that next bull run, but this bull run, I still do think something big is going to happen, and pools will be needed to handle the settlement of those 1,700 plus non-disclosure agreements on a daily basis. Nobody has any clue how high that number will be, but XRP must be a high price or it won't work effectively the way that it was meant to work and what it was designed to do, which is handle large transactions fast and cheap. So I hope that gives you guys some value. I hope you got some solid information out of this video. If you guys want to see, our diversification strategy through our portfolio deliberation training with our research team on what other altcoins we're holding, because XRP is not the only position that we hold. So you don't miss this bull run, because a lot of people put too much of their eggs in one basket and then they get wrecked and it underperforms or it goes away completely. I don't think XRP will go away. I think it'll still do well, as you've seen in this video, but you need to know what other projects have that massive potential. And because we have companies and projects reaching out to us all the time, we're gonna be sharing those with our inner circle, those people that are a part of our crypto education platform. So we have our early bird list. It's closing soon in about 6 days. You can take your knowledge and your portfolio to the next level by getting on this list. It's free to get on the list. You just subscribe, go to bullrunners.com, put in your best email address. You'll be notified first on what we're launching. There's going to be some exclusive bonuses for the early bird list within the 6 days, and then we're launching to the general public, our 300,000 subscribers here on YouTube. We have one of the largest daily video newsletter in the industry as well too. We're going to be emailing that out, and we appreciate you guys. We look forward to helping you achieve massive success in these markets during this bull run and for many years to come. So I will see you guys in the next video. I will see you on bullrunners.com. As always, you know what to do. Stay bullish.